الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان نبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين اما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته. Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to another class in Tafseer where we continue going through Sorah Al-Qasass. Last time we stopped just at the part where Musa alayhi salam is given the task to go back to Fir'aun and call Fir'aun to Islam. And we mentioned how big of a task it is for so many different reasons. A person doesn't just go to Fir'aun. Fir'aun is a great tyrant, and on top of that, there is the issue with Fir'aun being the one who raised Musa alayhi salam to begin with. So Musa alayhi salam, he takes on the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he leaves to Egypt, and he arrives and he speaks to the people around Fir'aun, the noble people at that time, including Fir'aun. And this is documented more in detail in other surahs, the whole conversation. And basically what we're taught or shown is the arrogance of Fir'aun. Instead of becoming humble at the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what Fir'aun does is he makes fun of Musa and he starts threatening Musa with punishment. So this is Fir'aun, and we're taught in these coming verses what the end of Fir'aun and his people were. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in verse number 36, فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ مُوسَى بِآيَاتِنَا بَيِّنَاتٍ, when Musa alayhi salam came to them, the people of Fir'aun, with our verses clear, قَالُوا مَا هَذَا إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُفْتَرًى, the only thing that they could reply with was by saying that this is magic. What Musa alayhi salam was coming with in terms of the science is nothing more than magic. وَمَا سَمِعْنَا بِهَذَا فِي آبَائِنَا الْأَوَّلِينَ, and we have not heard about this from our forefathers before, meaning that Musa alayhi salam is coming with something new, he's trying to change society, and they were against it. وَقَالَ مُوسَى رَبِّي أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ جَاءَ بِالْهُدَى مِنْ عِنْدِهِ وَمَنْ تَكُونُ لَهُ عَاقِبَةُ الدَّارِ. And Musa alayhi salam's response was, my Lord knows who is the one that comes with true guidance and who will have the afterlife, the akhirah. إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ. And he makes a statement saying that verily indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not make oppressors successful. And this is a truth not only at that time but throughout time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us time and time again in the Quran, وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ اللَّهَ غَافِلًا عَمَّا يَعْمَلُ الظَّالِمُونَ, and do not think even for a moment that the ظالمون, those who oppress others, will go without a punishment, or that they will not be held accountable. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala holds these people accountable both in this world and in the akhirah. And you see in this story the end of Fir'aun. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَالَ فِرْعَوْنُ يَا أَيُّهَا الْمَلَأُ مَا عَلِمْتُ لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَٰهٍ غَيْرِي. He speaks up now, Fir'aun. He's basically had enough and he's trying to keep control. And he says, oh my noble counsel, I do not know for you any God than myself. And you see the level of arrogance. Now Fir'aun is not just saying, I am your Lord, the Most High, and Rabbukum al-A'la. He's actually taking it a step further and saying, not only am I your Lord, the Most High, but I don't know of any other God that you should worship besides me. So this shows that Fir'aun is a type of evil that has no limit. It just goes from evil to evil. And he makes fun of Musa alayhi salam because Musa alayhi salam has told him about being given the task of spreading Islam, and he's told Fir'aun about the mountain of Tur and so on, these places, how he saw the vision of the burning bush and so on. So what does Fir'aun do out of his evilness? He makes fun, he makes a mockery out of what Musa alayhi salam said. So he says, فَأَوْقِدْ لِي يَا هَامَانُ عَلَى الطِّينِ فَاجْعَل لِي صَرْحًا لَعَلِّي أَطَّلِعُ إِلَى إِلَهِ مُوسَى وَإِنِّي لَأَظُنُّهُ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ. He's speaking to Haman, who is his right-hand man. This individual, Haman, is interesting in the sense that he's actually not mentioned in the other scriptures. You will not find the mention of someone by the name Haman in the Torah, for example, even though the story of Musa alayhi salam is mentioned a lot in that book. And this shows that the Quran it both confirms, it tells us the same stories, but like Allah Azza wa Jalla tells us, نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ نَبَأَهُمْ بِالْحَقِّ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He tells us the story, He sets the record straight. Allah tells us the truth, and that is why you will find in the Quran often many things that are slightly different versions of events to what you find in maybe in the Bible or other books. And this also highlights, it goes against the accusation where some people say Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam only took from the previous stories and he made his own religion. And this is something that they would say even to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam during his lifetime. وَقَالُوا أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ اكْتَتَبَهَا فَهِيَ تُمْلَى عَلَيْهِ بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا. They would say these, the Quran is basically stories that you will find from the people before. And someone is reciting, telling the Prophet ﷺ these stories. Well, if it was a copy and paste job, you would find that the Quran would be exactly the same as the Bible or the Torah. But you will find such occasions, such as the mention of Haman, an individual who is not referenced outside the Quran whatsoever. So what does Fir'aun say? He says to Haman, his right-hand man, build for me a tower tall enough so that I can ascend it and I can look at the God of Musa. So he is making fun of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's making fun of Musa alayhi salam. This man has no limits. And he accuses Musa and he says, وَإِنِّي لَأَظُنُّهُ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ. And I think that he is from the liars. I think he is from amongst those people who lie. Who is saying this? Fir'aun is saying this about Musa. So this shows us that, like we've said in the past, accusations or allegations can come from anyone. Fir'aun here is making fun of Musa and he's basically calling Musa alayhi salam a liar, whereas we know that the truth is on the side of Musa alayhi salam without a doubt. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَاسْتَكْبَرَ هُوَ وَجُنُودُهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. He became arrogant. Notice after mentioning all these things that Fir'aun is doing and saying and the way that he's behaving, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts it on record and says, وَاسْتَكْبَرَ, he became arrogant, هُوَ, him, وَجُنُودُهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. One interesting thing is, sometimes in Arabic, when you have the dhamir of huwa, the structure would have been perfectly understood if it just said وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَجُنُودُهُ. it shows that the repetition of huwa in this sentence, in this ayah, it emphasizes on Fir'aun. Istakbara, without any doubt, huwa, him, meaning Fir'aun, wa junuduhu, and not only is it Fir'aun that became arrogant, but his army became arrogant. And this, it shows us that usually, if the head is corrupt, then everything that comes underneath it will be corrupt. So if you look at, for example, just something on top of my head, if you look at a police department as an example, and you see that the police officers are corrupt, or there's corruption in there, it is usually, the problem is not just on one level, but you will be able to trace that back up. So Fir'aun was corrupt and arrogant, and so was his armies, and they showed this on fil ard, upon the earth. They showed their power and authority, بغير الحق, without any rights. وظنوا أنهم إلينا لا يرجعون, and they thought that they would never go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They thought, like many people do still today, that once you die, and you are not brought back to life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, زَعَمَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَن لَّن يُبْعَثُوا, that those who have disbelieved, they assume wrongfully that they will not be brought back to life after death. قُلْ بَلَى وَرَبِّي لَتُبْعَثُنَّ ثُمَّ لَتُنَبَّؤُنَّ بِمَا عَمِلْتُمْ وَذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرٌ. Say, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, yes, by my Lord, you will be brought back to life, and you will be questioned for your actions. وَذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرٌ, and that is something that is easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, Fir'aun is just like these people. He does not believe. فَأَخَذْنَاهُ وَجُنُودَهُ فَنَبَذْنَاهُمْ فِي الْيَمِّ. So we seized him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying we seized him and his armies. And even though it is put in a very simple way, فَأَخَذْنَاهُ, we know in other parts in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ بَطْشَ رَبِّكَ لَشَدِيدٌ, that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grasps someone, brings them to account, brings them to accountability, then it is لَشَدِيد, it is in a very severe way. So Fir'aun's end is not a pleasant one. He is drowned, فَنَبَذْنَاهُمْ فِي الْيَمِّ, we threw them all into the river, meaning the Nile. And this is mentioned more in detail in other parts of this Quran, where we find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Musa alayhi salam and the Banu Israel a path through the river. That Musa alayhi salam threw his staff and فَانْفَلَقَ فَكَانَ كُلُّ فِرْقٍ كَالطَّوْدِ الْعَظِيمِ, that the sea parted and Musa alayhi salam and his people were saved. But when Fir'aun and his armies came through, then the whole the sea came down. The sea came down, crashing down, killing Fir'aun and everyone that was with Fir'aun. فَانْظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الظَّالِمِينَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings our attention to the end of an oppressor like Fir'aun. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sets this as an example for everyone that comes after. That people might have power today, they might have wealth today, just like Fir'aun had in the past, but the end is one and the same, that they will be destroyed and they will face the consequence of their actions, both in this world and in the hereafter. وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً, and we made them imams. Imam is just the meaning of Imam is a leader. It could be the Imam who leads in Salah, it could be Imam leading in good, leading his country, leading his people. But you could be a bad leader. You can be an example for evil people, right? For people, sometimes even criminals, they look at the bigger criminal, they look at the boss, they look at the person who is in charge, and they want to be like that person. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Fir'aun and these evil people as leaders, يَدْعُونَ إِلَى النَّارِ, calling others towards the hellfire. وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ لَا يُنصَرُونَ, and on the day of judgment they will not be given any help. وَأَتْبَعْنَاهُمْ فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا لَعْنًا, and we curse them, send a curse upon them in this world. وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ هُمْ مِنَ الْمَقْبُوحِينَ, and on Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day of judgment, they will be from those who are disfigured, those ugly ones. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَتْبَعْنَاهُمْ فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا لَعْنًا, la'na, a curse, what it means in the Islamic context is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pushes a person away from the mercy of Allah. So that person will be an outcast, just like Shaitan, Iblis. You know, when we say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان رجيم. Rajim here means an outcast. Where is the outcast from? He is outcast from Jannah, from the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Fir'aun is like the shaitan in this case, and even in Islam we're taught that the shayateen, they are not only devils from the jinn, but you have human shaitans, you have human beings who are shaitans. And I don't mean a human being that has a different face or is a different creation, but I mean that they work like the shayateen. They work towards evil and they want people to commit as much evil as possible. And Fir'aun is one of those people. And his end was there, meaning that at the moment when he was dying, as we find out in some hadith, he tried, and even in Surah Yunus in the Quran, he tried to say La ilaha illallah. At the moment of death, he tried to be clever and to say La ilaha illallah at the moment he knew he was about to die, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not accept that from him. And he died the way that he lived as a kafir. And that brings to an end that chapter in the story of Musa alayhi salam, and we will continue towards the end of the surah. Inshallah, we do not have that much left, but we will stop here. Inshallah, hada wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.